So Sephora has a major problem with 10-year-olds and tweens destroying the store. And I went back and I decided to interview and investigate some employees and ask what they think about all this. Because when I first heard about 10-year-olds and tweens using samples and testers like they were Play-Doh and making skincare smoothies, I thought it was BS. I thought, okay, this happened once, it was disgusting, and it was a biohazard, and you know, it went viral on the internet because we love to point fingers and hate on each other, and it was a one-time thing. I went to a Sephora, and the Sephora was disgusting. The kids were feral. And I say kids because they were kids. There were people screaming at each other in the store, kicking each other, and I was absolutely shocked. I had massive anxiety issues while I was in that store, and we've already spoken about that escapade if you want to get out your popcorn and see what that was about. Well, I went back, not because I love torturing myself, but because I wanted to see if other stores were having the same issue, or if there was a difference between wealthier neighborhoods or neighborhoods that were more socioeconomically disadvantaged. Well, let's just say that I've been back 3 times at this point, and the samples and the testers are disgusting. They are literal petri dishes, biohazards, science experiments, and not in a good way. Sephora at this point looks like a playground. But I wanted to know, why aren't the employees doing anything about this? Kick the misbehaviors out of the store, whether they're 10, 12, or 93, clean up the samples, and let us enjoy and discover beauty in the ways that we want to, right? Oh, wrong. I was sorely mistaken. And it wasn't until I went back to Sephora to actually ask and interview some employees about what they thought of all this that I got to understand the truth. The issue that Sephora has with these delinquents is getting worse and worse. And what the employees have been doing to try to combat this versus what they're allowed to do to combat this is insane. Are you allowed to kick them out? Like, what do you do?
Gently remind them that this is not a playground.
Okay.
And
cool.
We ask that they move on, and most of the time they do.
As I was talking to him, I didn't ask specifically which brands were the worst. I was just trying to get unbiased opinion. You know, put my little journalism hat on. And without me even mentioning large mammals who enjoy beverages that could potentially inebriate you, he literally brought up Drunk Elephant. He's like, this brand is the worst.
And I guess it the most is gonna be this guy, where they come in and they start mixing everything up, and I clean it like every 15 minutes. So it's kind of sad, but it's a waste of product.
And I wanted to know, like, what are they gonna do? Was Sephora going to discontinue samples? Because if you take away the bait? It's like moths to a fly. Is it bait? If you take away the ability to make Play-Doh skincare smoothies, then maybe the desire for that and then all the chaos that comes with it will go away? Well, I asked him if Sephora was going to discontinue samples, and this is what he said.
No, we won't take away samples or anything, but California did pass a law recently that if anything is in a jar, we are not allowed to sample them.
Well, that's good, because bacteria.
Yeah.
That
if you think about it
sense.
hygienically, yes, definitely.
Wow.
But anything like in the pumps or drops, we can't. So we can only do so much though. So it's a challenge, I would say.
I was a bit flabbergasted, and I feel so bad for all retail workers, but especially those who are trying to run a beauty shop where people should be able to try and experience products and discover them responsibly. And these employees are essentially becoming beauty babysitters, like literal beauty babysitters for these iPad lickers. It's disgusting. Well, I wasn't done yet. I got his opinion, but I thought, let's get another source. Let's just see what else is going on. So I walked to a different part of the store and I decided to ask a woman what she thought of all this. And she shared with me some things that I could not have anticipated. Not just about the samples being destroyed. In her eyes, that was just old news, right? These kids have been shoving their fingers in stuff for weeks, if not months now. But she shared with me what her younger son, who is of this tween demographic, actually was overhearing at school, and about the retail theft, the actual property damage and theft that is happening on a regular basis at these stores.
He said, I overheard a group of girls bragging about how much stuff they stole. They were talking about how much stuff they stole from Sephora. They were bragging about it, so it's like a cool thing to do.
And it wasn't until she pointed it out that I realized, yeah, I've picked up products off the shelf before and it was just an empty box, and I just thought, oh, you know, maybe it was a tester or something like that. No. that was probably a stolen product. And listen, I have to be super upfront, and I've spoken about when I was young. When I was about 16 years old, I had severe chronic cystic acne. I was being bullied in school. I was going through a lot of issues with my skin, my value, and my self-worth. And I regrettably have shoplifted before, and I've been open about that. And I've also been open about how glad I was that I was caught, because I had to get caught in order to learn how to be not a little or not a little delinquent. And it's because I got punished and reprimanded and had to pay it back that I was actually able to grow up from that, no longer engage in that behavior, and take that as a learning lesson to help me improve my life in other ways and think more critically about my actions and choices. And with all of these kids and tweens using Sephora as their playground, stealing things, then taking them to school and bragging about it, this is not even something that's like shameful anymore. This is something they're openly talking about and promoting as if it's a good thing. Kind of like Andrew Tate talking about how he loves to shit on women. Like, hello, like what? Society? What is happening? But Sephora's not allowed to do anything about it. The employees literally said so.
The law doesn't do anything, so there's nothing we can do.
I love that the female employee that I interviewed seems like she's raising her son right. Her son won't even associate with these kids. And again, there are really good kids, tweens, 10-year-olds, and yes, even teenagers who do go to Sephora. There are many people who do behave responsibly, but unfortunately there's a lot that don't. And because one of the sacred beauty spaces has become such doom and gloom and literal biohazard recently, let me share a piece of good news. This right here is an example of how you do raise your kids, of how you teach your kids how to shop responsibly, and how you get them products like sunscreen and lip balm that are age appropriate. Mwah, 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 mwah. Glow, I love you. I freaking love you. If you don't know her, you gotta get to know her. I get it. Parenting is hard, especially managing your kids' use of social media, what they're consuming, predators out and about, trying to understand how to grow them into happy, healthy little adults when I'm an adult and I'm still not healthy and happy. Dyslexia. Even my mental health, it's all mental and it's not healthing, okay? I get it. But at the same time, we have to try to do better. And as someone who's in the store, I have to point the finger back at me too, because I'm like, okay, should I as a fellow customer be speaking up and stopping these kids from swatching things and like publicly shaming them and say, hey, that's not appropriate to do? Or if I see them stealing, should I be the one to stop them because the employees aren't allowed to as per the law? I just don't know at this point. And it is so devastating that a place that's meant to celebrate beauty and discover new beauty and give us a good customer experience is being destroyed by walking petri dishes who are leaving a literal trail of skincare slime in their wake. And it makes me want to go back to shopping online. I used to enjoy the idea of going to a beauty store, trying and discovering new things, and I'm just like, no, I am happy. I am happy in my little box. I have my Wi-Fi, I have my snack, and I am just gonna shop online to avoid the crippling anxiety that being around these judgmental teenagers and these iPad lickers are causing me. Again, unsupervised. Where are your parents? I'm a solution-oriented person. I want to know how to fix this. And it's not my job, but like, what are we supposed to do? Employees who aren't allowed to kick people out, what are they supposed to do? Sephora, who's not gonna discontinue samples, what are they supposed to do? I can't raise someone else's child for them. That's why I don't have my own at this point, among other reasons, okay? Please leave your thoughts in the comments below, because at this point, my solution is to stay home, to be a hermit, to watch the Ooby-Toobies, and to shop online, which I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. Oh my God, where are they gonna infiltrate next? There are some adults that are customers too. I am not leaving them out of this, but let's just say the majority, when you walk into Sephora right now, it's young tweens and children. It is a literal moisturized playground in there. And we gotta talk about it so that we can think about potential solutions to potentially try to help resolve this. Otherwise, don't call it Sephora, call it beauty babysitting, because that's what it is for these employees at this point. What do you think? Make sure that you stay hydrated. This is coffee, so I don't know how hydrating that is, but okay. Make sure that you reapply your SPF, not orally and topically. What am I? My brain is not braining today. Again, the mental health is all mental, no healthing. Stay hydrated, don't eat your sunscreen, reapply it, and be beautiful both inside and out, and just don't destroy other people's property. Don't destroy the retail shelves, and control your kids. You probably do, but like, there's a lot of people who don't, and that has become very apparent. A parent. We need more than just a parent at this point. We need someone to parent all of these children. Okay, thank you. Mwah. Love you. Goodbye.